green, and that goes red. And I can see me talking. Not supposed to, not yet. that button, you'll see it turn to green. Also see a red light up by the microphone. And everybody's on. You do have to have them pointed towards you. Mr. Brooks. Thank you. Okay, everyone will please stand for the pledge. And then remain standing afterwards. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. I'd like us to have a moment of silence for the following folks: James Davis, Susan Brown, and Dale Carr Beedman. Yeah, beat them. Okay. Moment of silence, please, for them and their family. So everybody had a chance to review the bills?
Yes.
Any questions?
Presidential primary, we have to pay for that early?
Whenever the county board of elections sends us a bill, we gotta pay
$1,000.
$3,000 every time now. Yeah,
And we're paying it 2 months early.
I think that was for the past.
Yeah, but this, well, okay, it was under presidential primary in the bills.
Well, we just had that presidential primary a couple weeks ago.
What was the one we got for June that was supposed to? For voting. Great. Okay, I thought that was the presidential primary.
And we're gonna have another primary coming up and then the presidential election. So we have two more at 3,000 each. Okay. So do I hear a motion on the bills?
I'll make a motion, pays the bills.
Second. Either, doesn't matter.
You take your pick.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. One thing I want to mention right now while we're on bills, because you'll be seeing this coming from Lee. We had submitted to ORAS back, well, it's signed, I signed it July 21st, 2023. It had two bills from the Zocklin Group from the fall of 22 and two bills from Heath O'Toole Legal Services in May and June of 23. So these were submitted, like I said, in July of 2023. We finally have got, Lee said it is pending in our account at this time. We have not received it yet. Once we receive it has cleared and it's in our account, then Lee will be doing a prepay so we can pay off Zocklin, and they're taken care of. And then the portion of it that goes to Heath O'Toole Legal Services as well. Just so you know, that'll be coming up. Lee said that because it's pending, probably it'll clear on Friday. If not, Monday definitely will be gone. Or deposited, I should say. Okay, has everybody reviewed the minutes? Okay. Do I hear a motion to accept?
Move to accept the minutes.
Second?
I'll second.
Dave seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Okay. We have no presentation at this time. We have no speakers at this time. Under reports, I have 2 letters to the town board. First one from the Village of Albion. Dear Town Supervisor, I'm writing to you to ask for a donation to the Village of Albion's summer recreation program that we conduct for 6 weeks starting on Monday, June 14th. We are seeking donations to assist with nutritional needs and short excursions that require transportation and entrance fees, along with supplementing athletic or craft activities for the children who attend each day. Our program is conducted Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. throughout the summer. Our attendance is close to 100 children from the Village of Albion and the surrounding townships each day. We had a record-breaking year in 2023 with the most children registered. We work in conjunction with the Masons of Albion and with the Royal Body Ministries for snacks and water each day. We are reaching out to FoodLink for additional services. Many children come to the park program without breakfast or lunch. It is our goal to not have any child go hungry and yet provide a meaningful experience of their surroundings through activities available in the community. We are kindly asking each township to consider a donation to defray the growing costs to provide nutrition and activities for our children. Your donation of $300 to $500 will help keep this program vibrant. At the end of each session, the Recreation Department will send you an accounting of how money was spent during the program. The village will not use funds to pay for employees or maintenance of park grounds and related supplies. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. Donations can be made to the Village of Albion Recreation Department. Thank you kindly for your consideration. John Grillo, Village of Albion Recreation Director. Okay, I open it up for a discussion on that request. Just jumped the gun, and instead of waiting till new business, I just read that letter. What's the general feeling from everybody on this?
You don't know how many kids from Berry go, or if kids from Berry go.
And the other Pandora's box you open up is, and it's just the way of the world, you sponsor or help one, then somebody else comes along with a good need. Where do you stop? That's the downside of the situation.
It's nice to read that letter so that the private sector, if they want to donate for this cause and they feel so led, you know, that's great. But I don't feel we should be using tax money for donations.
Kirk, you have anything to say?
No, you covered it.
So the general feeling is the town itself will not be making a donation to the Village of Albion for the recreation program, correct?
Yes.
Okay, but we do endorse anybody listening in, talk to your neighbors. If you so wish to make a donation to the Village of Albion, to John Grillo, not to John Grillo, but to the Village of Albion Recreation Program, care of John Grillo, please do so.
Is there an address or anything on there, Sean, to send a donation if somebody wanted to?
It'd be 35-37 East Bank Street, Albion. In other words, the village offices. Okay? I will send a letter to Mr. Grillo informing him of our decision. Okay, next letter. Dear Office of Renewable, this was written to Orez, but it was requested that we read it here at the town board meeting as well. Dear Office of Renewable Energy Siting Administrative Law Judges, as a resident of the town of Barry community and former town board member, I have been trying to keep informed about this project for our family and for our neighbors. In reviewing the daunting modified application, I learned that my home is one of the non-participating receptors that will potentially be receiving above the 30 hours of shadow flicker, and possibly up to 100 hours, according to the Heritage Wind Shadow Flicker Report. We are located at Heritage Wind Identified Receptor 327, tax parcel 107.1-12.1. The report states that we could have a maximum of 1 hour and 9 minutes of shadow flicker at our home for 131 days of the year, for a total of 114 hours and 5 minutes. Worst case scenario. I know that there are 52 of my non-participating receptors, aka people, that are predicted even that are predicted even after taking all other considerations into place in phase 2, and 43 even after taking into account past wind speeds, etc. There are predicted by Heritage Wind to receive over 30 hours of shadow flicker. I would like to just note that the local ordinance for the town of Barry states a maximum of 25 hours of shadow flicker, and the state has already deemed that to be unduly burdensome and overruled to a maximum of 30 hours. With this significant and I believe major modification that is being proposed by Heritage Wind, more people, myself and my neighbors, will be negatively impacted. We, my husband and I, understand that the applicant is saying that there will be new technology, shadow flicker detection software in the wind turbines. However, this use of technology leads to many more questions, especially because of the significant number of homes, residents, receptors that will be impacted. Questions like, how does the shadow flicker detection software work on homes or buildings that are receiving flicker from multiple turbines? Where will the light sensors be located? How will the light sensors be maintained and ensure proper function? In the winter, will snow cover deem them ineffective? How long has this technology been used? How has this technology been proven to be effective and actually work as they suggest? Where else in New York State is this sort of technology being relied on so heavily? Where else in the United States is this technology being used? Where is the supporting documentation for the effectiveness of this technology? What happens if a light sensor is not working and shadow flicker is greater than 30 hours annually? How will a resident be able to ensure that their property, their quality of life is protected? Majority of Appendix F is redacted and does not provide any proof of operation. How can this be relied upon? And why is this critical public health information being withheld from the public in the first place? Table 4 is alarming because it shows some homes will receive over 3 times the maximum shadow flicker at their property. With the other considerations already taken into place, for the 42 receptors listed in Table 4, on average, there are 22.5 hours over the annual maximum per receptor. The applicant's conservative assumptions still show a significant and major 967 hours of shadow flicker for residents of Barry that will need to be monitored with unproven technology. The information above seems eerily similar to the information that the applicant Heritage Wind presented in regard to the proximity to the Iroquois Wildlife Refuge. In public comment number 31, David Stillwell, Field Supervisor for the United States Department of Interior Fish and Wildlife Services, stated the following. We believe that the closer the turbines are to these unique biological habitats, the greater the impact is to species which frequent them. We recommend ORAS deny the draft permit for the project and direct Heritage to design a project with less risk to wildlife. In response, ORAS required the elimination or relocation of a handful of turbines. My question for ORAS is, shouldn't health risks to actual people require the same response? Does our health matter, or is ORAS only concerned about impacts to birds? Does New York State's energy policy demand that we be driven from our homes by incessant flashing light lasting over an hour a day for a significant portion of the year? Through the proceeding of this case, the applicant argued for unproven technology to be used to evaluate the impact of the industrial wind turbines on the unique biological habitats of the Iroquois Wildlife Refuge, and ORAS ruled that this was not practicable and that those turbines would need to be removed or much more stringent environmental monitoring would occur, as the unique biological habitats that are being more drastically and negatively impacted because of this new redesign are my neighbors, their children, their families. I ask you that you please protect them, as you did for the migratory birds and the inhabitants of the Iroquois Wildlife Refuge. Our residence is our home, our place of rest, and where we are raising and homeschooling our 4 children. The timing of the anticipated shadow flicker for homes that would need to be monitored by the sensors and everyone else in the morning and evening, important gathering and activity time for our young family. These are times we often try to be outside enjoying the wonderful rural property that we have chosen to invest in. We ask that ORAS please maintain that the applicant has to keep the design of the project to have shadow flickers under the 30-hour maximum for non-participating receptors. This requirement was/is a known requirement, and the modification of the project should meet this requirement without the use of unproven technology. Should the developer want to add this technology as a secondary measure to ensure that all non-participating receptors do not receive over the 30-hour maximum of shadow flicker, that could be beneficial. However, to use this unproven technology to ensure the maximum shadow flicker is not exceeded puts many Barry families like us at risk. What are our options? If this latest technology goes awry, you are talking about our home, our biggest investment, and where we are schooling and raising our children. We recommend, or as deem the modifications to be a major modification, and work to ensure that the 30-hour maximum shadow flicker is maintained without the reliance on unproven technology, and that Heritage Wind look to design a project within the scope of the law. Sincerely, Carrie Richardson. And that is on the ORAS website, DMM website. Okay. Old business. Hemlock Ridge Solar, at this time, we have nothing to report out on that at this time. We're waiting to hear back on a proposal that we and Shelby had submitted to the school district / county, but we have not received anything official back from any of them. That's on the pilot. The Baird Solar Project, work is still progressing. Every time I drive by there, I see some more materials being dropped off, and I see a lot of workers out there. This week, we only got one report so far, and that came today, which as soon as it came in, I sent it out to you guys, meaning the board members, so you all have the most up-to-date report.
That engineering report that whoever is doing that, is that financed by the Baird Solar Project, the state, or
AES, the developer.
the developers sponsoring that?
Okay, Heritage Wind, George?
As it said, it was deemed a minor modification, so moving forward, Bridget has sent in to try to get more intervenor funds or to got paid and go from there.
Comprehensive plan?
The survey is complete. We had the open house. It can be seen online. It's on our website. All the different areas that we talked about and went with. The next stage is comprehensive committee to get together, make recommendations, and present them to the board. My question is, we had a 17% return rate from our citizens. Is that enough to be valid? That's what I'd like to know from the town board.
I defer that to Labella and see what they've got to say.
So I reached out to Barb, talking with Barb. She said that in her opinion, 17% is good. A lot of places are, just under 10%, majority of that she worked on. I didn't want it to be hearsay, so I was reaching out to her to see if I could get, I didn't want something in writing that,
Yeah.
wasn't in her. But kind of moving forward on this committee, if you think 17% is valid, I think the committee can move forward with their recommendation.
Out of curiosity, Kirk, the last survey that was done?
You asked me that last month, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
We did it,
During
we
the
did it
election?
during the election,
Yep.
and I would say it was a 95%. Whoever came in and voted did it.
Right.
Well,
And then there was a few,
but this 17% is 17% of our
Population.
population of the town. So your 95% is 95% of the people that
of the
offered
people
you.
that voted that day.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like 178, wasn't it, down there?
Oh, I
Or-
don't know.
I don't know, but if it was 178, it's about 8% of the population.
So we did twice as better.
Twice as right. Twice as well.
Well, yeah, that's good. We improved by 2 times. To let you know also, I was given that gift card and I took it to Mr. Irving Wilson. Mr. Irving Wilson won that $100 gift card for completing the comp plan survey. Water District 10, we're still,
Do you guys want to get back to me and do it just individually? If 17% is okay, or
Well, did Barb?
because we're gonna be having our committee meeting before the next meeting here. If you guys feel that it's not, we can kind of, where do we go here? We can discuss that. Is it?
Barb say that, does she have figures to actually say that
17 is a good, that her averages were 10? Or, I mean,
Yeah, she said that was a good number. That she was well pleased with it.
10 was is about average.
Yeah,
really?
he said it's, 9 to, they've had 9 to 10.
That's pretty sad.
Yeah.
That's pretty
So-
sad.
Wow. Yeah.
Just her to show up.
So I got the general feeling is, yeah, let's go with it.
All right.
Water District 10, we're still plodding along. Applications for WIA and CDBG have to be, the process opens up in the next couple of weeks, so they have a couple of weeks thereafter in which to submit the applications. Dale and I were on a Teams meeting today with reps from CDBG, and they wanted to make sure that we all understood, meaning Labella as well as ourselves, the process. We being the town, have never gone or applied for a CDBG grant before. So they wanted to make sure that Labella as well as ourselves, and they gave us basically our marching orders, what we have to do and when these have to be submitted. So we'll be getting together with those people from Labella so we can get everything all put together and also submit it over to Jay Grasso at G&G, because he's putting together the final package.
Fellow's name that was directing the meeting there.
He's the head honcho.
Any-
Presh.
Anyway, that the project needs to be shovel ready. So,
6 months
yeah,
from the time of approval. That starts a clock, a 6-month clock. And the project has to be shovel ready so that within that 6 months, that project's going in the ground.
has to be.
It doesn't
bid
have to
bid and
be
started.
finished, but it has to be started.
Right.
So we have all our engineering reports done. We have everything set.
Right,
So it
that's
should
what
be
I'm,
good.
what I'm ensuring, I guess.
What about materials? Are they hard to get or?
It's a lot better than what it used to be,
Okay.
you know. I haven't bought any, George, so I really don't know.
Dave, pull your mic over a little closer, please. Yep. Thank you. You might have to as well. Make sure it's aimed towards your mouth. Okay. New business. Apparently Maureen's getting pressured here to make it official insofar as her deputy of vital statistics. So we need making a motion for the appointment of Deputy Registrar of Vital Statistics being Adrian Daniels.
I move that Adrian be assigned or appointed as the Deputy Registrar of Vital Statistics for Marine. For Fury.
I will second that.
Margaret seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? So carried. Okay, next. Our CEOs, plural, have went down to the property at 13455 Alice Road. They inspected the property and they found a ton of violations, which anybody that's driven by there can guess a lot of them. So as a result, there was a formal letter written to the owner of the property There was a formal letter written to the owner of the property indicating that they have until May 27th?
Yes.
Yep, May 27th to make all the corrections. So what I need is just to make this an official document, I just need a motion to accept this letter, order of compliance that was sent to the owner of the property.
I'll make that motion.
Margaret makes the motion,
I'll second it.
Dave seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. For a motion for the owner of 13455 Ellis Road to comply with the following violations by the end of May, by May 27th. And I didn't get you this copy of this letter then. It's 3 pages long. You want that? Yes. Yes. Okay. The next part is motion for a hearing. It's not a public hearing. It's just a hearing for the owner of said property to appear before the town board. And it would be ideal probably at the start of our next board meeting, which is June 12th. Of which that should only take about 10-15 minutes, and we can start right into our board meeting. So I'd like to hear a motion for accepting June 12th as the date for hearing on 13455 Alice Road.
I'll make that motion, Sean.
Second? Yes. At 7 p.m., yes.
Before. You want to do it right? You don't want to do it like before our regular meeting?
Oh, he didn't put a time in here. He just verbally told me at the start of our board meeting. I said, okay, no big
Okay.
deal. But he
All
didn't
right.
put a time on here, and we need to get the time, just the date.
It probably, Sean, it shouldn't be on video, should it?
I wouldn't think so.
So let's
Why don't we
do
do
it.
it?
Let's
Do
do
it
it 10
prior.
minutes ahead.
So let's say 6:45.
I agree.
June 12th.
I'll second that.
Okay, Kirk made the motion, Margaret second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Yes. That'll be fine. Okay, next. We have the policy for the healthcare because of getting some dinosaurs working for the town hall.
Nope, you gotta throw that in there.
I can't move, so you guys have got me.
Read the room.
Okay, everybody got a copy of this letter? Any discussion on it?
The only question that I got was for
I don't have a corrected copy.
payment, is the town paying the spouse's fee too, or is we set it up and then the comes out of the paycheck of the worker, of the employee? Following what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, rather than,
So that's why I just, which, is the town covering both
So in other words,
employee and spouse?
yeah,
Or is it covering, getting the best rate possible, and then money or so much money is coming out of the employee?
well, he's asking about how we reimburse them. Number one, he's got a two component there. One, paying the spouse, which we had said yes on. Two was how that payment is made. They have to, as this outlines here, submit a paid bill to the bookkeeper. Now, you brought up a good point right there. Well, do we pay them directly, reimburse them directly, or do we throw it into the employee's paycheck?
Isn't a paycheck taxable though?
Yeah, I think it'd be better if
Yeah.
we just reimburse them directly.
Okay, so they're,
That's the way it was presented to us from, yeah.
So-
That we would submit the paid invoice.
Yeah,
okay. So just to be clear then, the town is paying the employee and the spouse's health insurance, however it goes.
right. Okay,
George, you're 3 foot from your
Yeah,
speaker.
and that's the, thank you. And that's, yeah, we gotta check and see how far back they work. The, so, and that policy has been going on for like, years, right?
the town has never been put in this position before. We've never had a full-time employee end up going to Medicare.
Right, but I mean, even on the old insurance, the way the old insurance was, we were still covering the spouse's insurance?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
and that's what I was just wondering, how that policy has been in place for
Yep.
20 years?
yep.
Okay, good deal, good deal.
And anybody that's listening, it will be saving the town money by doing it this way too.
It's
And
thousands,
that'll fluctuate from year to year.
and it's thousands of dollars at this point that
Yes.
the town will be saving.
Okay. Do I hear a motion then to accept this health, this policy for health care coverage?
I'll make a motion.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Margaret made a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Okay. Next component. The Village of Albion sent us a letter stating that they were increasing the water rate to all their customers. Water customers now. We buy our water from the Village of Albion. So their increase to their customers, in order for us to cover this cost, we're saying we're going to have to increase to our customers, unfortunately. So the motion that I would like to have is that based on the increase that the Village of Albion is imposing on us, we need to raise our rates for residents from $5.75 to $6, and the bulk rate water from $8.25 to $8.50. Okay?
Is there a, on the bulk rate, is there a difference in amount of unit that you're paying for? Because it doesn't make sense if you're buying bulk rate, you think you'd get a decrease, but if the 575.6 is 1,000 gallons and the bulk rate is 5,000, I can see that or something, but.
No, it's per thousand. I'm sorry, I didn't make that. It is per 1,000 gallons, each
Okay.
of these rates.
Okay, so. Okay, So if
The
you're,
bulk rate has always been more,
More.
correct, Dale?
For us to sell?
Yeah.
To like farmers and that,
The farmers, yeah. And or swimming pools or whatever. Going back through, we've always had the greater increase, and that's what we have right now is 825 for bulk is what we approved. When was that? A year or two ago?
it's always been more.
It's always been more.
How do you separate the bulk from the regular rate if the person is filling a swimming pool with a hose?
It's going through their meter. You really have no control.
No.
Where we get the bulk rate is when we put a hydrant meter on and a backflow and they fill with a fire hose.
Oh, okay.
so that covers the extra time, the extra labor, of
Yes.
having people coming in. Thank
Yes.
you. Okay. That makes more sense.
And that's one of those things that we had discussed as a board a year or two ago also, was that when possible, when one of the farmers wanted to purchase some bulk water, if we could do it at one of the dead ends. Sometimes it's a little difficult when they're on opposite sides of the town, but if it is possible, then, and that saves us quite a bit of money because we're not wasting money flushing thousands of gallons of water out on the ground just to improve the quality of the water in that line. So once again, this is to cover the increase, water increase imposed on us by the Village of Albion. We are making a motion to increase our water rates for the residents from $5.75 to $6 per thousand gallons, and the bulk rate from $8.25 to $8.50 per thousand. Someone want to make that official? Yes.
Are we going to notify, I guess on the next, okay, so the next water bill goes out. Yeah, but I was gonna say, yeah, if we could let them know there's gonna be a rate increase. then that thing-
Remember I talked about that and I sent out a little paragraph and doing a postcard?
Oh, okay, that's what you're talking about with Ken. Okay,
Doing a little postcard. We've got, Maureen can supply all the addresses of all the EDUs,
perfect.
and we're just gonna put resident. We're not putting names, we'll just put resident at 14317 Westbury Road.
Okay,
You gave me one page, just to show me, but that's the one. Yes.
all right.
Okay, so yeah, I was waiting for us to approve this tonight before I sent cards out.
So I'll make that motion to increase our water rate, increase 25 cents from 5.75 to $6 to cover the increase that Albion is passing on to us.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? So carried. Okay then. Financials. Let me see here quick. Okay, under financials, general fund, we have spent $226,805.37, which is 37.75% of our budget to date. Highway has spent $320,973.44, which is 25.82% of their budget. Dale, your highway report. Everybody got a copy of that.
Everybody get it?
Yeah.
Any questions? Any questions?
I do.
Yes, Mr. Pope.
Just as he was going to breathe easy. No, I just wanted to ask, ground stumps and restored from trees that were cut a while ago?
Yeah, they've been cut for a couple years. We finally got the stumper from the county and ground them up and restored them. Restored the areas.
Okay. I didn't even notice any of that. Very good. The shed at the park, was that the storage
The
shed?
shed that the baseball
brown
team
one?
uses right on the parking lot.
Yeah.
The door was falling apart, so I rebuilt it.
Okay, very good. Maureen?
My report, tax totals, tax collection period has ended, I've balanced.
Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah.
George?
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
got it.
No report.
Yes.
I don't know what I was saying. Yep. The taxes, no, they're not coming in. The tax season has ended, and I've balanced, and they will be returned to the county tomorrow. Anyone who hasn't paid, pays them at the county from here on out. That's it. That was a lifetime license.
Okay, the assessor's report, Stephanie, as the tentative roll has been released and uploaded to the website. She says she'll be working some nights and Saturdays. This Saturday is one of those where she will be in her office to fulfill her New York State requirement to sit with the roll. Residents do not need to make an appointment to view it, they just need to show up. Grievance Day is set for May 28th, 2024. Residents need to make an appointment to grieve their assessment officially, as per what is posted, what we posted in the Batavia Daily News, and the directions are also on our website. She says that she would rather do informals where residents come in and discuss with her one-on-one, less paperwork that way, and then we or she can hear both sides. We're not doing 100% assessment this year. The county asked us to please back off one more year because there are so many towns that are doing 100% assessment, and the county would get flooded, I guess. So therefore, they asked her to please not do it this year. So next year, in 2025, will be the 100% assessed values going out. Let me look real quick here. Chad Fabre, our CEOs. Chad stated Jared has been out on a few inspections. He's doing a good job picking up the necessary skill sets. Jared reported, I'm currently in my first of 6 courses and test out next week for this one class. He takes classes for a solid week, then they're off for a week. Then he takes the next class for a solid week, and then they're off for a week. Stay close. I just got a text saying, Margaret. Okay, planning board, Kirk.
Yeah, wait a minute, on, our code enforcement, what's
Yeah.
his hours? Does he set up some hours right now?
They are hit and miss during the week. They are in here, both of them are in here every Friday afternoon into the evening.
Okay. Planning board, reviewed Eric Watson has changed his plans on building up there. He had a permit. He changed one of the buildings, one of the storage units. made it a little smaller, a little wider, shorter, wider. So they looked at that. They were okay with it. The other item they had on there was subdivision. And Bridget O'Toole, our town attorney, was present and gave him some ideas on how to proceed with that. They kind of wanted to see what goes on with the comprehensive plan, if there was something mentioned in there. I know there was something about housing and subdivision on that. So they're working on that. That was it. Yeah. Eric Watson is a storage up there on Wesley Road.
Okay. Zoning Board, Margaret.
There hasn't been a meeting. There has not been a meeting.
Okay. Dave, Park, we just had that meeting last night,
Yep, we had a meeting last night.
and we volunteered Dale for everything.
Yep, Dale was elected Grand Poobah, and he doesn't know how much he's volunteered for yet.
Negative.
Jason Foote came with a basic plan for the Ninja equipment and moving a couple of the pieces of the older equipment over to the new area. We got a real rough estimate of the installation costs, which was very vague. We do have to bid that out because it's over $10,000. Anything over $10,000 has to be bid out. So we're looking into getting 2 or 3 other bids, but we do need a better breakdown from the company that originally put the bid out. It's just basically the paperwork was install equipment, a dollar amount. We need way more than that. Does it include cement work? Does it include site work, footers? And that's where we're at right now, trying to get a more detailed description of the costs of installation of the equipment.
I did put a email out to them to call me and get them at the park so that we can look at the existing equipment that we're going to move also.
Okay.
That it?
Yes.
Electric is on.
I was
Beat you to
just gonna because you both knew that as of 12 noon yesterday, we had
I
electric
was
in the
waiting
park.
my turn.
I had a part too. Electric's on. It's always raining right now, so
So yes, great. We've got
Turn yet. We'll have a hold down.
there. You go.
I think the
BBC
BBC's
with
gonna
our
do
square
that.
dance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Dave, anything on utilities?
power's on at the park.
That's a good one.
And that's about it as far as utility. So as of right now.
Dave,
Yes.
for utilities, there's some parts in the comp plan that maybe you could take a look at.
Okay.
See the general feeling on some of the stuff with utilities. Okay, we have no attorney tonight. So that's it there. Our workshop is June 3rd at 6 p.m. We'll have the zoning hearing on the 12th at 6:45, and our town board meeting will be June 12th at 7 p.m. Okay. Anything else other than motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second?
I'll second it.
Kirk and Dave. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Thank you, everyone. Please hit your little green buttons.